Hi, it's Lou. I responded to a post today on Facebook, and the question was something akin to how do you sort of lift yourself out of the illusion of limitation? So I'm going to answer this in a video because I'm really tired of writing. I've just done 2 days on a computer writing and it's sort of like my fingers are all... So I'm going to attempt to do this by video. So I think all of us are really being magnetically drawn towards our highest consciousness, and at the sort of central space where we're going to is pure unconditional love. And as we are drawing towards that, we have to let go of a lot of density in order to realize and know and really feel that love inside us, inside our bodies, as a full body experience, rather than just a nice mental concept that we might be able to tap into when we meditate or use any kind of process that kind of lets us escape from our perception of our current reality. So what I use to really help me both remember and to drop back into the embodiment of that is a number of different things. Yes, that was the question this lovely woman asked me, how do I do it? And I'm not saying that I do this, all the time, that I can get it all the time, but I can access a space inside of me that is beyond really the limitations and the duality and the push-pull of where we are all kind of held in this idea or sense of fear, of lack of security, of feeling out of control, of deep feelings of vulnerability. And there is a space inside all of us that is very knowing of this lovely, beautiful grace that must and has allowed the whole of eternity so far in our idea of time to exist. So even the things that we don't like have been allowed. And what I have found is that when I can really just say, I forgive everything and everyone for all time, forever and ever, past, present and future, known and unknown to me. Those words were given to me once when I was really suffering with insomnia, but those words really stuck with me. And when I just totally mean that, I am transported to this space of freedom, because if everything to date that we don't like has been forgiven, then we are free of our attachment to it. Because it, like everything, if you go to sort of the point zero where the source of everything that has been manifested has been created, that's a blank slate. That's our creative power. We've got power to create from nothing. But most of us have been taught by our conditioning that in order to bring things into manifestation, there are ways and there are means, and these are set protocol, and you have to work hard and you have to struggle and you have to be systematic. But how does anyone really know how things come into manifestation? The planets, the star systems, the whole galaxies, the whole lot has been manifested by a source energy that we're all part of. And we also have that creative power. But we have, in our sense of separation, so we move away from that source sense of love, and there is a sense of separation, and that is where we go into duality because of the fear of that feeling, that separation, is that we take on our ego identity, which can create, but it doesn't create from love. It often is creating out of a sense of insecurity and fear and the need to be superior and all our egoic functioning. is what sort of drives miscreations in life. And these are what we can forgive. We can forgive the history of miscreation. And by doing that, we automatically align with the creative power of love, which is why in all these books that you read, you know, The Secret and The Power of Now and all the sort of popular metaphysical books are saying, you know, now is where you create from. But it's not as simple as just going, now I create, because we've all tried to do that and fallen flat on our face when nothing changes. And it's because we've still got entrenched in our cellular system our memories of conditioning. And so what I do with that for myself and my clients is to use energy clearing, which will research and clear the origins of dualistic experience, where we go through pain and we suffer and we're angry, we feel guilty, we retaliate. And the energy, compacted energy of that can be leveraged off. But also I love to use this saying that I say to myself first thing in the morning, because often first thing in the morning is when I feel rubbish. You know, it's almost like there's a sort of download of collective energy, and I have to kick that off so that I can, God, having a sweat here, that I can you know, be myself, you know, come back into my original source self. So I say, you know, I forgive everything and everyone for all time, forever and ever. And I usually find that if I just say that a few times, my body really relaxes and I can just soften into that. And often I'm just sort of flooded with colour, particularly purple. And more recently, there's sort of an amazing electric blue. And for some reason, those colours just fill me. And I am taken to a space inside of me of deep knowing of just beauty and love and freedom, real freedom to create. And that's why I paint. You know, the thing about really original painting is that you paint from nothing. I'm not trying to copy nature and I'm not trying to copy anything. It's just really coming from the inside out. So I do those things, and I often do something called the violet flame calls. So you can look online about those, or just contact me if you want to. But I hope this really answers the question that this lovely woman asked about, you know, how do you move to a sense of no limitation? And it really is the forgiveness of the history of conditioning, where we've gone into fear, and all the creations that have been made since the beginning of time that are a manifestation of fear, and the alignment with that. And so when you do that, you can move out of it and you can really feel a loved space within. So I really hope that answers your question. It's those three things of forgiveness of everything and everyone, and also clearing energy. And I do the violet flame calls as well. But mostly I think it's the first two that really impact me. And I just want to say that I'm not being glib about forgiveness. I think, you know, people have gone through terrible experiences, and being able to understand why in the moment of deep pain is not accessible. It's something that I personally feel that it's almost like by being in a space of darkness, when we find our way through the darkness back into hope, back into the feeling of regeneration and possibility, is that process is an important part of our eternal nature, in that we've got comeback power, sort of resurrection power. I mean, I'm not a sort of Christian or any kind of, I don't follow any religion, but I do think that is the message of the cross, really, that you know, there was persecution and Jesus rose again. And I think it's through that experience sometimes that our souls have elected to go through, is to really know that we are eternal. And you can't know you're eternal unless some part of you has been annihilated and you resurrect yourself. And those of you that have been through it, you know what I'm talking about. So I don't need to go into that here, or my personal experience of my own sort of crucifixions. But anyway, thank you for listening. God bless.